Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 286. Pretty deadly. My name is Eric.
I am Jason.
Hello, Jason.
What's up, Eric?
Oh, stuff?
Yeah, stuff.
Stuff is up.
Stuff happens.
Stuff does happen.
Life's full of stuff.
It is, and most of that stuff is out of all of our control.
Always has been. Always will be.
Yeah. It has been a couple weeks since we've done one of these.
It has been.
I don't know if you want to get into the whys of that, or...
We could maybe briefly touch on it.
Okay.
I don't want to maybe delve into the specifics because that's all I've talked about for about 2 weeks.
Understand, but, maybe a listener out there could help.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. But we've missed a couple weeks here because our friend Doogie, pretty important supporting character on this show.
Right. You might remember him from every Raw Milk story.
Yeah.
I think he's been a guest on the show.
He's been a guest twice at least.
Yeah.
Once for JCVD and the other for Bare Knuckles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, Doogie has gone missing.
Yeah, he's MIA.
Yeah. And you've talked about him in the past where he's sometimes just gone off camping and
right.
Nobody knew that.
Sometimes in our own backyard.
Sometimes in your own backyard in a bivouac.
Right. It happens.
Have you checked your backyard?
You know, now that when you were saying bivouac, I was like, we haven't mowed in a couple weeks. Maybe there's like a long, tall grass spot with some dandelions he's living off of. No, I mean, we're joking because,
that's the best way to deal with situations.
I've already had my days of being really down about it.
Right.
Because I freaked out. And, yeah, at this point, he's literally been missing for a dozen days.
Yeah.
And no one has talked to him.
Or seen him, or anything.
No phone calls, no Facebook posts, nothing.
Yeah.
His car is still here, his house is empty. It's like he disappeared.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're pretty concerned.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, his real name is Chris Mullahan.
Right.
So if you're sitting at a cafe right now talking to a Chris Mullahan, you're like, oh, well, that's not Doogie, because this guy's name's Chris.
Right.
Doogie's his nickname.
Yeah. And if you look online, I'm sure on Facebook, the Gutter Trash Facebook page has a picture of Doogie. My Tumblr page has a picture of Doogie somewhere on it.
Right.
There's some contact information on there. I don't think we want to give out phone numbers on the podcast here, but
yeah, at least not mine. Because originally we made the flyer. I put my phone number as well as the police phone number, and now at this point, detectives have taken over. I mean, it's a serious thing. It's something.
There's an official police investigation now, looking for him.
Right.
He is now officially a missing person.
So no one needs to really call me anymore, unless unless you just want to say, hey, I've seen your friend. But if you're like, I've seen a guy that might be him, I really don't want to hear that from anyone at this point, because I've heard that so fucking many times, and it's never him. So tell the police that, though. Please tell the police that.
Right.
But not me.
I would say at the very least, you can email Jason, and you can go ahead and pass on that information.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to help find him. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I would love for you, listener, to
if you know anything, help out. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah. Spread the word. Even that helps.
Yeah.
He's from Dayton. He went missing. Last seen in Beaver Creek. on July 3rd? Second. You kind of were the forefront of the search party for the last week and a half or so.
Right. I've somehow became the call center.
Right.
Which I'm fine with that, to a point.
Sure.
But now that actual detectives are looking,
they're probably better suited.
They might have more. I do have this mustache. I look kind of like a 70s cop.
I think you need to get a buzz cut maybe first.
Right.
And perhaps start wearing more suits.
Oh yeah, a suit is what I need.
Yeah.
I really do need a suit.
You're a third of the way to being 70s cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hang with that for a little while, but yeah, I need a suit eventually.
Yeah. So you are, it is not, he's your friend, you've known him forever, obviously you're upset that you can't find him,
exactly.
As what has happened to him.
Right.
But it is also not your job to be searching for him.
Right. In fact, as a segue, I actually do have a job now.
What?
We can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. Just go ahead and throw that out there if anybody has any info.
Yeah, please forward that along.
Yeah, contact the Dayton police or, send either one of us an email and we'll make sure it gets to someone who can actually do something about it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So that's why I just was not in the headspace to even attempt our usual high caliber entertainment level. It would have been so subpar.
Right.
And if anything, we've said from the beginning, if we can't do this 110%, we're not doing it. That's why you get this consistent quality.
Exactly. Speaking of quality and the consistency of it,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize right now. We are not recording in the Gutter Trash headquarters.
No.
Per usual, we are in my parents' house. They are gone, and I am house sitting. I do not have the actual microphones or sound mixer or anything like that. We are just yelling at my laptop in the living room.
Yeah, right.
Sitting on a very comfy couch and recliner.
I'm sure this isn't the first time that you've yelled at your laptop, though, is it?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Usually I'm doing something in Photoshop when I yell at the phone.
Right.
Or, trying to get porn to download and it won't.
Download faster!
Right.
I'm gonna come while I'm looking at the guy's face. Oh, buffering.
That's the worst.
It is, right? Unless you're into that.
Sure.
Then it's the best.
I guess, yeah.
Right? What a happy accident. It pauses on just the thing you want to see. Wow. Too bad we're all not bisexual.
I know, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah. You know who isn't bisexual anymore?
Who's that?
John Constantine.
Oh? Was he bisexual?
Apparently, I don't know.
Oh, for the new thing?
Huh? What?
You mean they were going to make him bisexual for the new thing?
No, there were maybe 3 issues out of 300 that showed him, getting out of bed with a dude or something like that.
No, I did not know.
Yeah, but they've made it a point on the new television program to mention that he will not be bisexual.
Oh, okay.
And also will not be smoking.
So he's not smoking anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're great. See, maybe in a way we needed that break.
Yeah.
To recharge our batteries and come back with the comedic gold like that.
That's right. Cock smoking is, Johnny Carson built his career on cock smoking jokes.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, during the time that you were out, pulling Tommy Lee Jones and the Fugitive, we had a comic to read, and it was 2-3 weeks since I've read it.
Right. Yeah.
And so I forgot pretty much most of it.
Did you get a chance to reread it?
I did.
Okay.
I reread enough of it to get my bearings on it. Yeah,
right. You've refamiliarized yourself.
Yeah. But we did a comic called Pretty Deadly.
Well, we didn't do it. I wish we did. Can you imagine if we'd done that?
We would be rich and famous.
We would be.
Or at least...
And liked by everyone.
We would definitely be liked by everyone. Or at least we would be slightly respected.
Right.
Or people would know our names.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's something.
We'd know, yeah, so we did not do Pretty Deadly.
But we did read it.
We did read it, yes. And we are doing a review of that book here today. Maybe.
Sort of.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be review-like.
Right. Yeah, reviewish. Yeah, Kelly Sue DeConnick and Emma Rios?
Emma Rios, yes. And Jordi Belair and another name, I believe Clayton Cowles. Yes. That's the entire creative team.
So I was unfamiliar with, all of them.
I'm not entirely unfamiliar with all of them. I'm unfamiliar mostly with Emma Rios. I don't think I've read any... Well, no, that's not true. But I know Kelly Sue DeConnick, obviously. She is the writer of Captain Marvel, currently, from Marvel Comics. Wow. Where Captain Marvel is allowed to be published under said name.
Right.
And not the real Captain Marvel, a.k.a. Billy Batson. Shazam. It's not his name. It's the wizard's name.
That's what it says on the front of the comics.
It's the wizard's name.
Oh, next you're going to tell me Frankenstein's not a monster. Yeah, so she's a good writer, right?
I enjoy her work.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed. Been reading Captain Marvel since not since it came out, but I picked up the first trade eventually, and I was like, hey, I'm on board with this. I thought the art was in some of the early issues, but it got a lot better. And,
that's right. Yeah, it changed.
Yeah. But I think Emma Rios did some of the art, and
really?
At least some of those earlier issues, and I enjoyed those quite a bit. Kelly Sue has also written Avengers Assemble, I think. Oh. Yeah, that was the book, and I think maybe one of my favorite superhero team books since the Keith Giffen Justice League days.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So it's fun.
It's very fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yep. Incredibly fun.
Huh. Would not have guessed.
Yeah, which is, kind of what I look for in a superhero book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
It's at least what I hope for in a superhero book.
Yeah.
And she, pulled it off. I would definitely compare it to the Giffen Justice League.
That's cool. That's high praise.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, because that is, to me, kind of the pinnacle of my enjoyment of comics.
I couldn't agree more, at least on, Justice League. I've read Grant Morrison Justice Leagues and enjoyed them, but I've never read any Justice Leagues I enjoyed as much as Keith Giffen, DeMatteis stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And I've read, I've read some other stuff by Kelly Sue that, like I read Ghost, which was okay.
The Dark Horse thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
The revival of that one book. What was that line?
Oh,
World's Greatest Heroes.
Yeah, World's Greatest Heroes.
Yeah, it was alright. But there's someone, that I enjoy work. I try to support them whenever they put out a create her own book.
Right.
So she, announced this Western, and the preview art looked pretty good. I said, sure, why not? Let's do that.
Was this her first create her own thing?
I don't know if it's her first or not.
But she's mostly done Marvel kind of stuff.
Done quite a bit of Marvel, yeah.
Okay.
And of course, I don't know that it has to be mentioned, but she is married to Matt Fraction.
It's weird. It's like, you feel like that's a piece of trivia that's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things like, she's really cool, mostly because she's married to Matt Fraction.
Right,
I feel like that enters into a lot of, people's minds, at least.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, well, maybe I'll try it out. I mean, if she's banging Matt Fraction, how bad can she be?
Well, I mean, Matt Fraction is pretty bangable.
Yeah, I'd bang him.
He's a handsome man.
Especially if it, maybe he'll read my comic.
Sure, right? Like, I remember there was a convention where, Kelly Sue was announced as a guest, and, like, her only credit was,
Matt Fraction's wife?
Yeah, basically.
Wow. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, until this point, I have never read anything by her, but I gotta say, pretty damn impressed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I really like this comic.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I really, really enjoyed about it was that it, like, throughout the entire 5 issues, it's a 5-issue series at this point, I think. It's an ongoing, but, they're, like, splitting it up into arcs or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So for now, this is out there, and it's available in trade. But, like, throughout the 5 issues, I just kept thinking about, this is, like, what I loved about Vertigo comics in the early 90s.
Exactly. This was such an old Vertigo comic.
Yeah.
And, like, that is perhaps the highest praise that I could give the comic.
Yeah.
Other than saying it was by Chester Brown.
Right.
But, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I felt like when I was reading it.
Yeah. It just had something about it, like just that time.
It's
like
eerie.
It's very eerie, and it's got a lot of crazy, moody artwork, and it's very poetic in how it's written.
Oh yeah. But not in a like off-putting way.
No, yeah.
In a kind of beautiful and violent way.
Oh yeah. It definitely reminded me of like right when Vertigo started doing create your own stuff.
Right.
Not just Sandman, Swamp Thing, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Enigma and Terminal City and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That just like that explosion of just insane creativity that went in every direction.
Right.
And this is unlike just about any other comic. I mean, I've heard people compare it to like, I think someone said Sandman meets Preacher or something.
Oh.
And like it does, and it has like elements of
both. Sure.
You could like maybe they could, if they were bands, they could play on the same bill.
Right. Yeah.
But they don't sound like each other.
They would be at a festival together.
Right.
But maybe be like, well, I guess that's weird, but okay, sure.
Right.
Yeah. Not like, if you would say, like, put the Melvins and, like, B.B. King on the same
right.
bill. Right.
I would go to that show.
I would totally go to that show, too. But not for the reasons I think anybody would want me there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really neat. It's a really neat book.
And it's, kind of gorgeous.
The art is fucking incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I had a couple of problems here and there with, like, storytelling flow.
That's the only thing I have that's a complaint about this, and I was going to see if you had the same problem.
Yeah.
I think there's like 2 different pages where I looked at a set of panels for like 10 minutes on each one, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Right.
Like, it looks neat.
Yeah.
Like, even those specific panels look
sure.
cool, but I'm like,
it's all well drawn.
Yeah.
Like none of it is poorly put together.
Yeah.
It's just a little unclear in places.
In very few places, but where it is, it's very unclear.
Yeah. And, I'll also say that also for the story as well. But, at this point, I'm not sure if that's, by accident or by, design.
Because it's kind of like a artsy mystery kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
there's definitely an unfolding narrative.
Yeah.
And
I think you're supposed to kind of guess who people are and what their roles are.
Right. I will also say that, this is probably my fault. I don't know if you did this or not, but, I see text pieces in the back of a comic. I generally ignore them.
Right, yeah. I did read those, but, like they didn't really... I didn't really glean much from them.
Okay.
Like they mentioned a couple of the characters, but I mean, like, they weren't even written by Kelly Sue the comic. It was written by somebody else.
Right.
So, like, I feel like it's not obviously a major part of the story, or it would have been written by Kelly's comic.
Yeah, I do kind of have that attitude about it, and I did glean enough from, the actual story and even the recaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want to read the actual short stories, because
it was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
But it was about, what's his name? The red-haired dude?
Johnny Coyote.
Coyote.
Yeah.
And,
Molly.
Molly. The
bird. The raven. Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting. I liked it, but I don't think it's a necessity.
Yeah. I really liked it. I'm actually glad that I did get the chance to reread it because of everything that happened,
Right.
Because I actually picked up a lot more on the second reread, once you know the actual story.
Oh, I'd imagine so. It's one of those things that it's kind of dense with interesting characters that all have a mysterious persona,
And I gotta say, I kind of miss that in a lot of comics. Most of the comics I read, I enjoy them, but, I read them and they're done.
Right.
And then I move on to whatever else. But, and I honestly, I don't know that I even would have reread this had I not. Well, I clearly wouldn't have if we'd have done this last week, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad that I did, because I did pick up a lot more, and I feel like there's not a lot of comics have that rereadability factor.
Oh, right. Yeah, because it's pretty straightforward, and once you know what's coming, it's not as interesting the second time around. But yeah, I felt like I actually read the first issue twice, because after I read the second one, I went back and read the first one again.
Yeah.
And it's because I was like, man, I'm still a little unclear on, I wasn't sure if I missed something or if it's just purposely, told in a kind of, mysterious way.
Right.
But yeah, I felt like I understood it more the second time around.
And that's another one of those things that makes me think of Vertigo again, because, how many times have I reread The Invisibles, or Preacher, or Transmet, or, Enigma.
Right.
All these great books that came out back then that I would read over and over again.
Yeah. Because they're so complex, but not in a math assignment way,
right?
But in a dense story where
you can get everything in one sitting,
right?
But you pick up on other things.
You get all the essentials in the first. Yeah. Okay. So we both really liked it.
I think that's what we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was. The story was really good, but I thought the art was just so fucking gorgeous that even if the story wouldn't have been good, I would have enjoyed it. But
yeah, I would have enjoyed looking at it. But it's got the story to back it up. And I'm a fan of westerns anyway, and I'm a fan of creepy supernatural type things too.
Those are great together.
Yeah, they are.
Those are a great combo. Yeah,
it is a lot like chocolate and peanut butter,
right? I think it's some people call it Southern Gothic. Again in music, like Tom Waits and the Hanson Family and things like that have that sort of Gothic, feel, but it's not so it's not like people with white face paint and really sad lyrics. It's kind of funny and odd and Southern. It kind of reminded me of that feel.
Yeah.
I could see the Hanson Family scoring this movie.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
I could definitely see that. And, I do like that, there is, there's not a ton, but there is a little bit of humor throughout it. It's not entirely drenched in,
It's not so drab.
Right.
And it's more like one-liners that just kind of, it's not like a funny scene or something.
No, yeah. But, or the character of Johnny Coyote, I think, is, I don't think I would classify him as comic relief, but, he is a lighter character than everyone else.
Right. Yeah, which is odd to say, but in comparison. Yeah, he's great. I really love, too, two of the main characters, Sissy and Fox.
Yeah.
Fox, I guess. Like, they kind of are doing this sort of Old West theatrical storytelling.
Yeah.
Where they have, like, this big banner that has, like, basically comic book panels on it that tell the story, of Death's daughter.
Yep. Death-faced Ginny.
Yeah. And I think it was really cool because, it was like comics before there were comics.
Yeah.
Just like this old school storytelling with little panels drawn. So I thought that was like a nice little, I don't know if that's what you call a self-nod, but, where you're telling a story in a comic and you put a little, like, comic history sort of in there.
Right.
But, yeah, I thought that was awesome, too. But in the page, the page layouts, they're one step away from being confusing.
Yeah.
But they're not confusing.
Right.
Which is amazing.
And occasionally, like we said, there's some storytelling unclarity here and there.
A couple of hiccups.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to describe the story, really. It's about death.
Right. It's kind of like a fable,
It is a lot like a fable, yeah.
Like an old, like a kind of a dark, Grimm's fairy tale kind of thing.
Right.
Because it's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
It's about love and,
love and death.
Love and death.
And it's weird because... Well, I mean, I guess it's not weird because I guess Mobius did the Blueberry comics, which are westerns.
Right.
I was going to say it has a very European feel to everything, but at the same time, it's about something that's very American.
Old westerns.
Yeah. But yeah. So I don't know what I'm really saying there.
Yeah, you're saying like it's got an amalgam of sources it's drawn from. Like it's fables and westerns and a little bit of comedy, a little bit of romance.
Yeah,
mostly just like a dark, fable-ish western.
Yeah, very violent.
Yeah, but not
gory.
Yeah. Not like a Garth Ennis comic where something really fucked up happens and you see all the blood
and then laugh.
And then you laugh. Yeah, this is darker, but it's all kind of like subtly done.
Right. I mean, I would say it's probably like a mix between Sandman and Preacher.
Done by girls.
Who knew that girls could write comics? Or draw?
Right.
That's weird. I don't like this.
I know.
I'm done.
Makes my penis feel small. I'm threatened.
Get back in the kitchen is what we're saying.
Yeah. No, I think they've, pretty much solidified that there's no reason to doubt a female's presence in the art of making comics.
Nor should there ever have been.
Exactly. But I mean, yeah.
But
like it's
for some reason, it's apparently a big deal.
It's still around.
Yeah. That's like when I forced your girlfriend to watch Punisher Warzone.
Oh, yeah.
And I told her it was directed by a woman, and I was like, not that matters, but I guess it matters until it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's still a thing,
right?
Like obviously, it didn't make either one of us, not watch it or watch it because of that,
right?
But it's still like a factor that's just floating around in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like, I don't know if it's so much that women don't usually direct movies like The Punisher that are so dark and violent and funny
and over the top.
And over the top. Yeah. I don't know if it's because they don't choose to do that or because the studios
chosen to.
Right. The studios are like, no, we don't want a love story.
Right.
And they're like, what? What are you talking about?
Right. Because I got to imagine that a woman wouldn't just turn down a chance to direct a potentially huge movie that would make them successful and well off.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
yeah. Why?
Just because some guy gets his head blown off.
Right.
I can't imagine that's a factor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people, men and women, that aren't interested in directing movies like that.
Yeah.
But if you're, trying to do your job,
right,
get that option, why not?
I mean, I don't think we would turn down an opportunity to direct a Punisher-like movie.
Right.
I mean, I don't see why anyone would choose us due to the fact that we're not filmmakers.
Right. That might be the first reason.
That could be the first reason, yeah. But if we were...
Totally do it.
Yeah. And if we were women, we would still totally do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good job, ladies.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It really is. It was one of those things where... I don't know. I was unsure, whether I would like this or not, especially after the first issue, but...
Wasn't there... Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
You just reminded me. Wasn't there some sort of a hubbub on the first issue?
There was, yeah.
There's
just some guy who just, didn't like it, I guess, and didn't understand it, and so tore it up. And
what's his problem? What was his problem?
I don't know. Probably just expected more boobs and muscle dudes. I don't know.
Right.
Who the fuck knows?
Right.
I don't know.
So that was just that's over and done with.
Oh yeah.
Whole thing.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing something about it.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing. But I was after reading the first issue, I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, and then forced myself onto the second issue, and everything started coming more into focus, and then I realized that I was really digging what was happening. But there was that, because I'm poor.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm constantly trying to, see if I can trim my comic purchasing.
Not add new ones, right?
Right. Yeah. So I was like, well, the first volume of Pretty Deadly's out, and I've got those, and like if I don't like it, then that seems like a book I'd be fine, cutting out of my pull list.
Right.
But I don't think that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
I think I'll be getting the second one when it starts coming out. So
yeah, the second one's more about Deathface Ginny, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah,
because she's pretty cool.
Yeah,
because a lot of the characters are pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Alice,
like Big Alice.
Big Alice, yeah, she was awesome.
I would like to learn more about Johnny Coyote without having to read just solid text.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm an idiot.
If we wanted books and stuff, we'd go to those libraries. What'd you think about the narrators? The
butterfly and the Bones Bunny?
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
They're really cool.
I kind of hope that they show up again. Because I enjoyed them.
I enjoy seeing their interactions with various animals
throughout
the series, too. They really scared away, was it the armadillo? Or?
No, for sure that was a dog-like animal. Be it a fox or a dog or a coyote
Something
or
got
something.
Scared,
yeah.
Like the bunny creeped him out because he's a skeletal bunny.
He's a skeletal bunny.
Yeah.
Who, we see his origin.
Yeah.
Deathface Ginny kills him as a young girl.
Right.
Yeah.
And now he's telling her story.
Yeah.
So he obviously, I don't know,
has no hard feelings.
Right.
Yeah. There's just a ton of poetic imagery and just beautiful visuals and storytelling that goes on in this book.
Oh man, like all the stuff with Death's Slayer.
Yeah,
it's just awesome looking. And Death himself is a really cool version of Death.
When I was pulling these books to lend them to you, I had them just sitting out in my living room, and my girlfriend picked up the one issue that Death makes his big appearance,
right? And
it's the Mason, digging through the earth basically, and then reaching Death's lair, and there's this weird, crazy perspective drawing of Death, it's like a full page, maybe even a double spread, I can't remember. But she was like, "Oh my god, this is great."
Has she read these?
She has not read these.
She'd probably like it.
I think she would. At least visually, she would definitely like it.
Yeah, because she's an artiste.
She is.
She would appreciate this.
Yeah, and she did love sex criminals when I forced that upon her.
Nice.
And I did try to force All-Star Superman on her, and she read the first issue and definitely wanted to read more, but she has yet to read anymore.
Yeah. I think part of All-Star Superman, you kind of have to be a comics fan to appreciate some of the nostalgia kind of reference, but yeah, I mean, you could read it otherwise.
Yeah. I'm sure she'll read it eventually. But yeah, I think she might really enjoy this as well.
Pretty deadly.
Yeah, I sure did. And I'm glad you did too.
Me too. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's a lot better than I expected.
Yeah. Alright. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Kelly Sue and Emma Rios and
everybody else.
Jordy Belair and Clayton Cowles.
Yeah, I hope you keep doing this book.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And I hope you keep buying it so I can keep reading it.
Sure. That seems like a thing that, well, I mean, you do have a job.
I do have a job now. Yeah.
You could maybe start being able to afford to buy a comic or two.
Maybe in a little while.
All right.
Not quite yet.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break then.
All right.
And we'll talk about this new development in your life.
Yes.
10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, there was someone killed 'neath the town hall light. There were few at the scene, but they all agreed that the slayer who ran looked a lot like me. The judge said, "Son, what is your alibi? If you were somewhere else, then you won't have to die." I spoke not a word, though it meant my life, for I had been in the arms of my best friend's wife. She walks these hills in a long black veil. She visits my grave when the night winds wail. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows but me. The scaffold was high and eternity near. She stood in the crowd and shed not a tear. But sometimes at night, when the cold wind moans in a long black veil, she cries o'er my bones. She walks these hills in a long black veil. She visits my grave when the night winds wail. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows but me. Nobody knows but me. But me.
Welcome back to Galatasaray. Hey.
Hey. How's it going?
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's alright.
So did you get an anonymous tip there during the break?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
Did get a phone call, but nothing major.
Alright.
Yeah, I swear. Okay, first of all, if you are a person who has my phone number, and I'd say about half our listeners do, I will probably be changing my phone number pretty soon.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've got lots of phone calls. You know, like we mentioned earlier in the show, my phone number is on the missing person flyer.
Right.
My friend Doogie, and you know, I love that people call. Like, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But like, so many people have spotted a man that they think is Doogie.
Right.
And they'll be describing him. And I'm like writing all this down for the police, and I'm like, okay, and like he had so he had a red beard, and they're like, oh no, he didn't have a beard.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I mean that's kind of like a very prominent feature. Which is also in the only photo that's being circulated of him.
Right.
And then like one guy was like, no, or yeah, he had a beard, but and he's like, yeah, and he's covered in tattoos. And I'm like, no, he doesn't have any tattoos. And like, there's just a lot of people that don't quite get it. But
right. But to be fair to them, a lot could have happened in those 12 days.
Right?
He could have gotten completely tatted up
right.
and shaved his beard.
Why would? Yeah.
I mean, if he has decided that he just wants to disappear,
right?
Why wouldn't he just change his?
That's true. Yeah, because like all the police reports would be like, any identifying tattoos? Like, nope.
Yeah.
So like, well, that's not him.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
That guy with all these fresh tattoos and the freshly shaven face.
I just hope that this isn't some sort of raw milk conspiracy come to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, you had a theory. I remember that that perhaps it was the homeless lady's reign of. Of the raw milk, service queen or whatever. it was over, and she had to
right.
Pick an air.
While you were out searching for him, did you go to the creepy alley behind Mendelssohn's?
I did not. I've still never been there. That's a good, that's a good question. What's going on in that alley? No, but like one of the main reasons I was talking about changing my phone number is there's a guy who has called me so many times.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's a friend of Doogie. He's never met him before.
Right.
And he's never seen someone that he thinks might have been Doogie.
Okay.
But he's called me so many times. The first one was he was just like telling me like, hey man, if I see this guy in this poster, I'm going to let you know because I ride my bike on that bike path a lot. And I was like, that's awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, cool. And then, he hung up. And like a half an hour later, he calls back. And I was like, oh my gosh. I saw his number and I was like, maybe he's on the bike path. Maybe he's... And I was like, yeah, what is it? And he's like, I forgot to tell you. I mow lawns a lot. So if I'm like mowing a lawn and I see him ride by like on the street, I'll let you know. And I was like, well, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's kind of the whole idea. And then like... I got off the phone and like an hour later he calls back and he's like, yeah, I just told my friend Marcus to keep an eye out too because he rides around on his bike a lot, so my friend Marcus is going to look out for him too. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. The more people the better. I was like, just let me know if you know anything.
Right.
And then so, like an hour later he calls again and I ignore it. And then an hour after that he calls again and I ignore it. And an hour after that he calls again and I ignore it. And then, like, one more time later, he called, and I was like, okay, I've just got to talk to him. So I picked it up, and I was, he's like, hey, have you seen Iron Man 3? Because your friend kind of looks like that guy in Iron Man 3. And I was like, I was like, you really only need to call if you have some sort of updated information on the whereabouts of this man. That's the only reason you need to call. And to his credit, he hasn't called back, and that's been like 5-6 days.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So, but I think perhaps he had some mental issues.
Right.
But I just got to thinking, like, my phone number is on like many, like flyers.
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet. It's on the news. Yeah, I've seen it on the news website.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna probably be changing my phone number as soon as I know one thing or another. Right. So. Look for that.
All right. Well, it's a good thing that I don't actually know your number by heart.
Right.
I just press a button, and there you are.
Yeah. Kind of special that way.
Yeah. So just make sure that when you do get a new number to...
just let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually did tell me this story on Saturday about the guy calling you.
Right.
And when you mentioned the Iron Man 3 thing, I was just like, what? Because, who the hell is he talking about?
He's got like a red mohawk and a red beard.
Right. Well, I was sitting here last night and I was telling my lady person the same story, and all of a sudden, like right in the middle of telling it, I knew exactly who that guy was talking about.
Oh, really?
He was talking about Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin.
Really?
Because Ben Kingsley, have you seen him around there?
Yeah.
He's got the big thick beard, he's got the long hair, and he's got like the ponytail.
It's not red, though. Right?
It's not red, but you know.
But, okay, yeah.
And you know, yeah.
Okay, I can kind of see it.
Kind of wearing camo, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ben Kingsley is kind of in a Doogie kind of costume.
Right. Yeah, if only it was red.
Yeah, if only it was red.
Okay, well, yeah, it didn't click at all. I was like,
Right.
what is he talking about? Like, the only person I've seen lately in a movie that looks like Doogie is that one of the science officers in Prometheus.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's, you know, one of the first murdered people in Prometheus by the aliens.
Yep. Yeah, there's some Doogie-esque characters out there.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that it was he was probably talking about the Mandarin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, if you change your number, though, you're gonna have to let your new job know too, right?
I will have to let my new job know because they do call. I guess that's like a thing that happens a lot with them to have people pick up shifts. So I will definitely be interested in that.
Yeah.
Because I need money.
Right. I mean, you've only been out of work for about a year.
About a year, and I had an unexpected large expenditure by way of my dog needing a tumor removed like a month ago.
Yeah.
And I paid for that, and yeah, I need some cash.
Yeah. So what are you doing?
I'm a grocery guy.
Nice.
I worked at Trader Joe's today for the first time ever, and it was pretty awesome.
Oh.
I gotta say,
Hippie store.
hippie store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like as part of the training ritual, we go into the back room and there's this like giant tofu container that they submerge all the new hires in. To like,
and you were the only one that made it out.
I was the only one that made it out, so they gave me a box cutter and a t-shirt, and I'm an official employee now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will never visit you at your job.
Have you ever been to Trader Joe's?
I have been to Trader Joe's. I've been to Trader Joe's with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Really? We
Yeah.
went to Trader Joe's?
Oh, yeah, we did.
In Kettering?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Huh.
Because our friend, Lauren, also at least used to work there.
She's still there.
She's still there, yeah. She saw us both while we were there.
Okay. What were we doing? Were we buying groceries?
You were buying groceries, and I was tagging along.
Okay.
Because I was like, well, I need to buy groceries too, and maybe they'll have something. And they did not.
Oh, what were we doing? What were you looking for?
Just anything that was cheap.
Oh, they have cheap stuff?
Not really.
You could eat for like $5 there. You can eat a meal for $5.
Yeah, but then at Kroger, I can go and eat a week's worth of meals for $5.
Oh. Oh, there's like mac and cheese for 99 cents.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But no.
It's all hippie bullshit anyway.
Oh,
I prefer my mac and cheese to be made out of actual, flour and that kind of, substance, not, seaweed and tofu.
Oh.
I prefer my meat to actually be the flesh of a dead animal.
Right. They have dead flesh there. They do have dead flesh. There's a whole dead flesh aisle.
I like my pretzels to, actually be pretzels and not, fried twigs.
Aww. It's not as bad as that.
I prefer my cashiers to wear a hard shoe.
Okay, well, okay. Yeah, we do have shorts on and long hair. And, yeah, okay. There's a hippie element to it. But
and I also like a grocery store to provide me a bag.
They have bags.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, free bags.
They give you free bags. Yeah, free bags. Free grocery bags. Yeah. I saw it happen today.
And I also want my in-store signs to be professionally designed.
Printed out by a conglomerate
Yes.
somewhere out of state. Okay, well, you got me there. Yeah, I didn't get to draw any signs today, but I did. I got to be cart boy.
Oh.
I got to be a stock boy.
Yeah.
I got to throw cardboard in a baler.
Oh.
I got to put stuff in the back room and in the aisles for customers. And, yeah, it was cool. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed it. It was an 8-hour shift, and it felt like 4 hours because it was just busy.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, never mind. The thought that I had was not even a third formed yet. So
it was impure.
Yeah. But I do drive by your workplace every day.
Oh.
That's
on the way.
On the way home, I drive past Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm. You should stop in.
Well, I usually go straight past it into Kroger and get myself a salad.
I do buy half my groceries at Kroger and the other half at Trader Joe's, and I don't think I'll change that.
Right. Do you get a discount?
I do get a discount. Huh? It's not a great one, but it's something.
Right.
And that helps. But there's especially the Kroger right next to Trader Joe's has a pretty huge produce selection.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Trader Joe's is a small store, and they're trying to keep it that way. Honestly, so they can't afford shelf space for as many things.
Right. Well, it's also a grocery store in the middle of a mall.
It is. Yeah. But the coolest kind of mall, because it's not like a huge mall where everything's you can see outside in the daylight from the store, which is nice.
And you can buy used books.
Yeah, 2 doors down.
Yeah. And crushed cookies next door.
Right? Yeah, that's not a bad mall.
Yeah.
There's even a health food store behind the shopping center.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And a B-Dubs.
Is there really?
I think so. Isn't there?
There's a Panera, I know. Oh, maybe there is a B-Dubs.
In the mall.
I don't know.
I think there's a BW3s.
There probably is. Yeah. I would never...
for your buffalo wing, cravings.
Yeah. I at no point in my life would I have been to the BW3s, so I have to take your word for it.
I don't know. I think I've talked about it. My nephew has some sort of stomach malady.
Oh.
Which I think might be fake, because he claims that the only place that he can eat is BW3s.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fake.
Yeah.
What could it possibly be that they have that no one else has?
He can eat there's a certain type of dry rub that they put on some of the wings. He can eat that, and he can eat the... Basically, it's fried potatoes with cheese smothered over it.
I don't think there's anyone that has a stomach malady that would be recommended to eat fried potatoes with cheese stuffed over it.
Or buffalo wings.
Or buffalo wings,
yeah.
I'm with you on this. I think there might be some fallacies in his his design theory there.
Yep. Well, congratulations on finally getting a job.
Thank you.
It has been just under a year.
Well, I had a job as a stay-at-home cartoonist. It just paid a little bit less than Trader Joe's.
Well, I mean, you're not making Pretty Deadly money?
I don't think I am. Yeah, I think I make the same amount of money that people that write letters to Pretty Deadly make. When I was a cartoonist.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So, how about you, though? Enough about me. What's going on with you?
Oh, living the life of an Eric Shonmore.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
House sitting, cat sitting. Yeah. So I'm immersing myself in, soft water and cable and free food.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
And kitties.
And kitties who hate me.
Right. But that's kind of how kitties are sometimes.
Yeah. This one was being particularly vocal today. I'm honestly surprised that he got out of the room when we started recording. But I guess, honestly, I'm not surprised, because why would anyone stay in this room while we're recording?
I know, I thought about leaving during the break and not coming back.
Yeah, so did I. Just me watching things. Hanging out with the lady at times, and watching a lot of movie type things.
So you're not just like staring outside, seeing what the neighbors doing, watching them?
No, although I did do that briefly on Saturday when I got here.
That sounds fun.
They were setting up a tent or something in their backyard. So I was like, what's happening there?
Right. Huh.
But I watched, last night, I watched 3 of the 5 original Planet of the Apes movies.
Wow. Wow.
And then I watched Oz the Great and Powerful with Bambi. Because she wanted to see it and hadn't yet.
It's pretty good, right?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it again.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. And then I watched the new Guillermo del Toro television program.
Oh, The Strain.
The Strain.
How was that?
It was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I saw like the opening 5 minutes at Kathleen's before I went home.
Yeah, it was alright. There's some problems.
Yeah.
Just logic-wise and then story-wise.
Okay.
There's some bad acting in it, too. Some less than stellar special effects here and there.
Right.
But, it's definitely got a creepy vibe to it.
Yeah.
And, Guillermo del Toro has a distinct vision for what vampires should be. And so this is, more of that.
Okay.
Did you ever see Kronos?
No.
No. Well, maybe it should be a pick.
Yeah, I've wanted to see that for a while.
Or at least, we should just watch it at some point.
Yeah.
But he kind of, it's a vampire story, and his vision of what vampires are kind of presented in that. Then in Blade 2, which is obviously my favorite Blade movie, and I think it's because he just took a strong creative stranglehold on it, from David Goyer, who was generally terrible. But similar type of vampires were in that movie as well.
Kind of distorted and creepy. And
creepy, monstrous, and then, pale, bald, just they're monsters.
Kind of monstrous Nosferatu type.
Yeah. And that seems to be what he's going for with The Strain, which I've listened to the audiobook. So, I already kind of know.
Was it a comic, too, The Strain?
Yeah.
As that logo looked familiar.
Yeah, the Dark Horse put out a comic adaptation. I think David Lapham wrote them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna watch it last night because I watched the first, segment before commercial, and then Kathleen told me that it was an hour and 40 minutes. So I was like, I'm not gonna watch an hour and 40 minutes. So we'd already been watching TV, and I was like, I gotta go home.
Right.
So I might check it out sometime. It looked interesting.
It's worth a watch. Yeah. I'll stick with it. Again, mostly just because I love Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and Bambi watched it last night. Yeah, it was good.
So is he directing all of it, or just creating it?
It's based on his novel, and he wrote and directed the pilot, at least. So, I'm sure he's not
doing all of it.
Right, because he's got
shit to do.
He's got other movies coming out.
Pacific Rim 2.
Pacific Rim 2 eventually. He's got one coming out next year called Crimson Peak. And he said he's going to do something between that and Pacific Rim 2 as well. So.
Sweet.
He's busy. Yeah.
Well, good for
probably never do Hellboy 3.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even... I wouldn't mind if somebody else awesome did it.
Right.
As long as Ron Perlman could do one more Hellboy movie.
Sure, yeah.
I'd hate to see somebody other than Ron Perlman and somebody other than Guillermo del Toro do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it could be a thing where del Toro could, handpick a successor or something like that.
I'm sure, yeah.
Write the script, produce it, make sure it keeps the tone.
Right. But it would be nice to have Ron Perlman do one more.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Before he gets way too old.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody else could do it too, but I can't think of who that would be.
Right, yeah. I mean, I remember when the first movie came out, and, everybody was like, Vin Diesel or, The Rock or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. But then, like, as soon as they announced Ron Perlman, I was like, it's fucking perfect.
It is. It is perfect.
Yeah. Just like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Right.
It is just absolutely perfect casting.
Right.
And, like, there's just nothing that would be better than those two.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I had to take an extra trip down to Cincinnati this past weekend. That sucked.
Oh, right.
This gas station down the street here that had been closed for a while, and they just reopened.
Oh, yeah.
And they now have like a really good discount on gas as part of their grand reopening.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like 10 extra cents off of a gallon.
Really?
Yeah. So
maybe I'll stop there on the way back.
I'll give you the details of what you need to do.
Wow. How exciting.
Yeah.
Cheap gas.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I yelled at a dude today at the gas station.
Uh-oh. At the cheap gas station?
At the cheap gas station.
What was he doing?
I was putting gas in my car, and he was an employee of said gas station, and I saw him just sort of wandering around in the parking lot, and then he came right up to me. He was like, "Hello, sir, how are you?" I was like, "Fine." And he was like, "Would you like a coupon?" I was like, "No." He's like, "But it's for like free food and stuff." I was like, "Go away."
Aww. He probably gets, paid for the more than he can give away.
That's fine. But when I say no,
right,
I'm done.
Right. Yeah. I respect that. Yeah.
I'm also pumping gas.
Right.
Don't bother me.
Yeah.
Like any interaction that I would have with people was already done when I prepaid for my gas.
Right. Yeah. So did he go away?
Well, once I told him to go away, yeah.
Oh. They kind of slunk away, like, defeated.
All I know is that I saw him go back to, like, the building where he was just walking around on the sidewalk, and, like, two girls walked into the store, and he didn't even interact with them.
Oh, you ruined his life.
Good!
Oh, well, maybe I'll go there and cheer him up. Like,
right.
I'll take his fucking coupon.
Take his fucking coupon for some sort of meat-based product.
Yeah, whatever. I'll recycle it.
Alright. Alright, well, I guess at this point, because I got nothing else.
Yeah, I got nothing else either.
Yeah.
Two biggest things that happened to me in a year have happened in the week, and we talked about them.
Yeah. I mean, I had...
Not that... I shouldn't say it, like...
No,
My friend disappearing is not about me. It's not...
No, yeah.
But I mean,
But it's stressful.
It's all I've thought about.
Right,
yeah.
I mean, that has been the last 2 weeks of your life.
Yeah, I haven't felt like doing much else.
Yeah. Because you want to find him, and you want to know that he's okay.
Oh, yeah. I've spent quite a bit of hours searching by phone, searching in person on the bike path, like on my bike, hanging up. Yeah, I mean, it's like I really, really hope that he's okay.
Right.
But I kind of hope, and this might sound terrible, I kind of hope the scenario is that he's been, detained against his will.
Right.
Because I can't imagine any other scenario me not being really, really mad at him.
Right. No, yeah, I totally understand.
I think that's the only way.
Because if he's done himself harm,
right,
which is the worst possible scenario,
yeah,
then that's infuriating.
It is.
Because the last 2 weeks have definitely shown that there are a shit ton of people out there who care, who give a damn about him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even me, and I wouldn't even necessarily call us friends,
right,
but I know him, and he's been in my house, and that's not something that a lot of people get to do.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I like him.
Yeah.
And I want him to be fine.
Right. And if he's just kind of said well, I just need to take some time by myself and like reevaluate life and like I'm just gonna do a Forrest Gump thing and walk across the country.
Right.
Like I will be mad because he didn't tell anybody that was happening.
I mean, and at that point, I mean, and again, he's not meaning it in any kind of bad way, but it's a dick move to just disappear on purpose like that. Yeah. So if like he was kidnapped.
Yeah, I know, which would be horrible.
Right.
But like that.
But that's out of his control, and you can't get mad at him for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, I guess, if I was a dick.
Right.
But. I hope that he was kidnapped and he's returned safely.
Yes.
That's exactly what I hope happens. That way we'll be friends again. Because I have... Like, I love him like a brother, and I hope nothing happened to him. But I have a hard time reconciling that I would be as close friends with him after this.
Right.
Because it's just fucking horrible that he would do that to somebody.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
I mean, you would probably need to, take some time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say anything. Like, if he wandered back, I wouldn't say anything for a couple of weeks. I would make sure he's okay.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh, I'm glad you're okay, but I don't want to talk to you for a while.
Right.
Until I feel better about this.
Right.
And then we can be friends.
Because what you did was shitty.
Yeah.
Dude.
Right. We hope.
We hope.
Yeah. We hope that he's alright.
Yeah.
I really, really do. So yeah, if you know anything, please tell the police.
Yeah.
Dayton police.
Well, I found out some news, and I'm not going to talk about it, but, it's, something that has made my life miserable for a couple of days. But, just, some people are just fucking horrible.
There are some people out there making bad decisions.
Yeah.
I will definitely agree with that.
Yeah. But it has not really affected my life too much otherwise. But other than
that's good. That's a good way to.
Other than just sort of like you get the just like an itchy feeling in your brain, just like why is this happening?
Right. Why do people behave this way?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm okay.
People start behaving better.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know who you are. We're not going to name any names.
Nope.
Brian John Mitchell. Curtains. But if you're out there behaving improperly,
yes, as you are
in the world,
because we know it,
fix it.
We know you are.
We're like the foul-mouthed, two-bodied Santa Claus. We know what's happening. And we're not going to give you any presents if you don't shape up.
Oh, well, I may have a present for us.
Yeah?
Yeah, a movie to watch.
Oh boy, I love movies.
It's a movie that I've been wanting to pick for quite a while, and just always tend to forget that it happened to exist.
Okay.
My last check, I knew it was on Netflix. It may not be now, I don't know. Sometimes they do that.
Right.
So, fingers crossed it's still on Netflix.
Right, okay.
But I would like to watch the movie called Boonraku.
Oh, yeah, I would like to watch Boonraku.
Alright.
Let's watch Boonraku.
Boonraku.
Cool. I kind of, for some reason, for a second I thought you might pick Argo.
Oh, yeah.
Because until yesterday I had never seen it before.
Oh, okay.
And I watched it yesterday.
Okay.
So I was like, ooh, should I veto if he picks Argo?
Great.
Which was really good.
Okay.
I liked Argo.
Well, and I will watch it on my own at some point.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you had.
I have not.
Okay. Cool. Well, Boonraku.
Boonraku.
Not directed by Ben Affleck?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Unless he did it under an assumed name.
Right. He might have. Sweet. Let's do it.
Cool.
Well, everybody.
Well, thanks for welcoming us back into the world of podcasting.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be a regular thing again.
I would hope so.
Unless I have to work that night.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jesus.
I know it's gonna be because that is the thing. They said they probably will have at least one weekend day every week. I'll be working. So,
yeah.
Figure that out.
Yeah, we
that
will.
might affect our plans.
That way, and there is still the specter of my needing to get a second job at some point.
Right.
So
yeah.
you should
you should just get a job at Trader Joe's, and we'll both like stock stuff in the back room together and we'll just record a podcast while we're stocking.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. We'll get paid to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can figure it out.
All right.
I'll get you. Or at least I'll just leave the back door open. You can sneak in.
All right.
Do it while I'm working.
I mean, I'd prefer to get paid too if you're getting paid.
I guess I could just split my wages with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that'll work.
Yeah. That's the only fair thing.
Yeah. All right then. We'll be back next weekish.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's a crazy world.
Bear with us, folks.
We have no control over it.
Exactly.
Never have. Never will.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.